Hello and welcome. My name is Jürgen Rinelli and I'm a senior software consultant. Today I'm going to show you my favorite program, Endpoint Central. I'm going to show you around through all modules, and it is from the version 11.4.25.28. Have fun with it. Okay, here we are, Endpoint Central. Endpoint Central is an agent-based system. That means you will need an agent on the systems, on your clients, in order to manage them. You can manage Windows, Mac, and Linux systems, and you can establish a software and a hardware lifecycle as well. Let's start with some basics. Endpoint Central in the on-prem version is coming with a PostgreSQL database. You can use it until, 10,000 clients or something. You always can migrate to an MS SQL database. Just remember that's a one way. Once you migrate it to MS SQL, you won't get back to PostgreSQL. The security you can establish through certificates, SSL certificates for the communication between agent and client. And in the on-prem version, when you want to maintain the systems out there, the remote agents, even without an active VPN client, so you would need to expose the server in the internet, and in order to prevent that, to not do that, there is a secure gateway server available. It's a small tool that you would install in the DM set in order to establish a secure communication to all the clients out there. Fine. As well, the access to the console. The console is accessed through web browsers and through users, technicians, what we call them. You can add technicians, Active Directory technicians, or local authentication, selecting just simply the domain you need and a role. It's role-based. So an administrator, of course, can do everything. A patch manager or an OS deployer role can only do what's meant there, patch management or OS deployment. And you can even restrict your technicians to specific remote offices. A remote office is a distant location, in another office or something. You want to gather all your systems from that location. You can even install a distribution server there. That's kind of a repository there then locally for patches, software, and OS deployment. So if you wish to have your administrator in that location only working with that remote office, you can do so. Just select the remote office you want to have him, and you can even get device groups there for him only. Fine, that's about that. And there is a role builder. If you want to have more roles, despite the predefined, you can configure them here. There's a role builder, and there is a secure authentication, of course, as well, through email or an authenticator app. There's just some samples. And there is a user account policy you can establish and a password policy. This password policy is for the local authentication, of course. Fine, that's about the users and roles. There are some integrations available as well. Service Desk Plus, it's a ticketing system from ManageEngine. I call it the dream team together with Endpoint Central because the integration is really, really, really good. And everything is running through one single agent. There is an RP Key Manager, RP Explorer available for connecting with other systems, Jira, Zendesk, ServiceNow, some other products as well already out of the box. The connection, not that programs, that products. Fine. What else do we have to take care of? Yeah. There is the agent. We want to know how to publish the agent, isn't it? There are different ways, either through a push installation, through add computers, selecting the group, the domain or the groups you have those systems in. Just select the systems. Yeah, some systems just go on Next, check it out, and then publish them to the remote office already or to the local office, and then install agents. That's it. That's the push installation. There are other options too. Agent installation through GPOs, Azure Autopilot, Apple Business Manager, SCCM, and lots of more. Every installation method is coming with a learn how. So there is, let's go on it. Let's check it out. Yeah, there are some agent installation through GPO. You go on and have more details on how to do it, what to do. So let's get that tabs away and get back here. As well, there is an automation Active Directory sync with the AD sync settings. There you can have new computers detected and automatically install an agent as well. That's possible as well. All right. Remote offices, you can have them here with a distribution server communication and a direct communication. And in order to automate even the process of adding your computers to the remote offices, there is an IP scope possibility to automatically add your systems to the respective remote offices. For instance, if there is someone traveling from New York to San Francisco, the system would recognize it and automatically would move the system into the San Francisco remote office, and the system will get his updates and software and whatever through that remote office then. Domains can be added here, and you can add Entra ID, Microsoft Entra ID, Active Directory, and work groups. Fine, that's with some of the basics. There is, of course, more about the system requirements. There is a link. I'm gonna post that link into below the video then, or in the video. We will see, and you will find the system requirements based on how many computers you have and supported software, LAN architecture, etc. And there is the supported applications tab. This is something else I'm gonna post below the video or in the video. We will see in the end. And you will have here the supported OSs, Windows, Linux, OS applications, third-party applications in patching, what's supported for Windows, Mac, and such. So have a look in there if you can find yourself. Fine. Let's continue. Home. There's a dashboard. Great. A dashboard. Nearly every system does a dashboard. Nearly every application on the market has. Of course, these dashboards can be a bit tweaked in the position and in the type of the dashboard. Fine. You will find a lot of informations there. Everything is linked, of course. Every click will get you in the respective module. In the below section, you have some how-tos, you have a knowledge base, you have FAQs, and you have some videos. These videos are from ManageEngine. You will also find some videos on our German YouTube channel in English, and of course, even in German. There is a roadmap shown here. It is always visible to everyone. And if you have a great new use case, just share your idea there. Describe it well, and everything, and ManageEngine will have a look on it and check it out. Fine, there is a blue button. This blue button has the online guide, upload logs, raise a ticket with ManageEngine, a call, and a chat if you wish to communicate through the chat. That's for getting help. Fine, let's continue. Configurations. Oh, yeah, I have it in English. Of course, it's an English presentation. Despite that fact, I love it to have every program in the English language. But if you wish to have it in other languages, you need just a multi-language pack, and then through Personalize, you can select different languages. There are a lot of languages available. Okay, configurations, Windows, Mac, and Linux. What's that? Windows. What you see here is mostly available even in your Active Directory through GPOs, but if you have workgroup systems, this might come in handy. Security policy, secure USB, or IP printer, add them, something like that, shared network printers. Mac, you have some settings as well, and Linux as well. There are some templates available. Always ManageEngine helps us a lot with a lot of templates in every module. You'll see later too. So here is, for instance, disable Adobe Reader Updater, or there's even Windows Update Disable and something like that. Configurations. You can push them as a collection as well by user or computer collection. I'm going to show you that because I want to show you the look and feel of everything. So define collection, apply it even on every startup if you wish so. Yeah, let's do some basic stuff, secure USB, Wi-Fi, and yeah, rec editor, and there are lots of things you can do. So secure USB looks like that, and it's a basic port security, portable devices, for example, block it and have some device instances excluded. Works really good, but I know it can be nicer. So I'm going to show you the add-on, the device control, where it is nicer. Wi-Fi, you have it here, enable or disable the adapter, or add, modify or delete some Wi-Fi profiles. Here are different profiles possible. And this is the registry editor. You can send, you can add, write values, delete, add key or something. Okay. Skip changes. Define target. The targeting, one of the most important things in such a solution. You can define through remote office or a domain or work group. Selecting a domain, for instance, filter it based on, again, remote office site or organizational units, AD groups, computers, IP range, whatever you wish. You can exclude targets in the same manner. For instance, you have systems, every company has systems, what you shouldn't touch. Old software need, old hardware, something, but you need to keep it for some reasons. Want to have only a agent on it for the monitoring, whatever that might be the reason. So then you might build a custom group with never touch those systems group or something like that, and you can add it as an exclusion. So even though if the target is already in even in the remote office, through the exclusion, it won't be published something to it. Dynamic custom groups possible too, let's say, or even operating systems, no servers, whatever you wish. Targets can be excluded as many as you want, and targets can be defined as many as you wish. Let's cancel that dialog. What else do we have in the configurations? We do have a script repository. Cool thing that too. You can add your own scripts in that for Windows, Mac, and Linux in those types shown here. And those scripts can be used prior, after, or even only using publishing that script. So prior a deployment or after deployment can be used, or even here through add user configuration or computer configuration. Yeah, there are templates. As I said, ManageEngine uses a lot of templates. 471 templates at the moment for Windows, Mac, Linux, and let's say auto login, but you don't know how to write that script. You want to have it, so view and add it to the repository, or in this case, I already have it. View it in the repository. You can publish it or modify it in here. Yes, let's modify it, and there is a script editor as well available. All right, that's about the configurations. Threads and patches. There is a lot of magic done automatically here. We have dashboards, of course, dashboards with all vulnerability information, zero-day vulnerabilities, and patch vulnerabilities, security configurations, systems, what's missing, health graph, patches, and even a matrix where you see over 30 days, let's say, critical 3 systems. Let's have a look, click on it, and you directly get to the missing patches and could patch it from here. Let's first go to settings and patch database settings. You want to know what you are able to patch with it. Microsoft updates, everything what the update service from Microsoft would have done, you can have it here. Third-party updates drivers in BIOS. Mac and even Linux. Right, Red Hat Linux settings and SUSE Linux settings for your enterprise Linux. You can add the configurations here. Now, when there is an agent out on these systems, each day automatically there will be performed in a scan if there is something missing. Missing patches are gathered here. Missing patches tab, you will find the criticality. This is coming from the respective software vendors, and there is patch description, approval status, missing systems, platform, reboot required or not, and a patch uninstallation supported by the patch or not. And there are lots of other columns you can choose for informations you want to have in one look. The approval status, yeah, what's that? You can automatically, you can have it automatically approved without any test scenario, but if you want to test your patches prior rolling out, then you can have it with an approve or not approve possibility in here, or decline a patch. Only green approved patches can be rolled out in an automatism, but you always can publish patches manually even if they are not approved. Manually patching a system looks like that. Missing systems too. All right, here install publish patch, the ULA browser. You give it a name. I'm doing it mostly like that, copy paste. And you can uninstall it even through the same dialog. If it is supported, then there is the deployment option through a deployment policy. That's the when and the how. I'm going to show it in detail later, or publish it into the self-service portal, or even do both. Yeah? So deployment policy and self-service portal. Even a force deployment to unpatched systems after a specific day can be configured. The targets are already in here. I do not have to do anything, and then just get it running, deploy. That's the manual deployment process. What else do we have? Informations here, some more details about the patch. And in the front, we have always the languages supported, and we have a bulletin ID linked, and even the download location. And we could download that patch manually if we wish. Fine. What else? Filters. You can add filters for your scope of business. So not every administrator is doing everything. So, or you might have on Mondays, you might look only for servers or whatever. So then you could establish your own filters here and have, for example, only critical Microsoft patches and go through the list. I told you something about automatisms. That's why we want to choose a new system. Automate patch deployment, created by all. We have it on our own in our test environment as well. Green is, yeah, completed. Cool thing. The blue one is in progress. Red, yeah, that's a failure we need to take care of. And there are some systems, some missing patches here. Let's look about the failures. Patching failed, not really helpful. So then we click in here and we get more information, even provided with KB articles. Automatism deployment and automate patch deployment. Yeah, how to create it. Windows, Mac, or Linux. We give it a name, and then we could say, let's say we wanna just publish a critical and important patches clients. All right, Windows and third party. I already have that name. Then let's do a for whatever. Save. So then we choose critical and important in the Microsoft update section. Patch all applications, only specific or all except some applications. This is possible. Third party, doing the same within the same automation. Everything or specific or exceptions like sub GUI or a VPN client or Citrix workspace, whatever you do not want to wish to have it automatically patched. Antivirus updates can be published as well, driver updates, and here you see only approved manual or test and approved scenario will be published through here. Deploy patches after, you can delay it from release or approval if you wish. In the next section, we do have, again, the choice, deployment through a deployment policy. Let's say I have one with 2 deployment windows on each weekday, or you could publish it through the self-service portal, or even here, do both. In the next field, we choose the target. We've already seen the targets, how they work. And here there is a real cool section. If you do not feel well, if you feel lonely because you do not receive any emails, you can help yourself here or somebody with lots of notifications. But you do not need those notifications because you have a dashboard and there are reports you can sent to yourself frequently on a scheduled base. Okay, now we want to talk about the deployment policies. I postponed that a lot of times now. Deployment policies can be saved as new, duplicated. How does it look? This is the when and the how. Choose the weekdays, choose based on patch Tuesday or a specific calendar date. Weekdays. Let's select everyone every day instead of except of Saturday and Sunday. Let's choose a time. Of course, without I'm not able to continue here. You can select even months. Add schedules as many as you wish. You can configure a pre-caching and you can configure even the deployment when to initiate it, system startup, refresh cycle, or both of it. Refresh cycle is the time frame. It's a 90 minutes time frame where every client, based on his startup time, will contact the server and look if there is something new for it. Next, pre-deployment activities. You can establish a wake on LAN through Endpoint Central. And this is done through the agent then. Pre-deployment reboot, you can initiate if you wish. And here is the script section. You can add scripts from the script repository, what I showed earlier. Predefined user notification. Of course, you can inform your users, allow them to skip the deployment, force it after specific time, and show the deployment progress. And in the last section, post-deployment activities, if you do not configure anything here, there won't be a reboot or a shutdown. If you want to have one, just put it in here, drag it in here, and you have a force option, a delay option with some postpone intervals, exclude servers, and such things. You have the shutdown possibility. It's the same like the reboot with delay function, force function, and you have even a restart and then shutdown possibility. Cool thing with Windows updates, they're really, really good working in the background, but only until you reboot the system. Then it might take a lot of time. So you could reboot the systems prior shutdown if you wake them up prior the, if you want to have them shut it down after a deployment. Yes. Cancel. That's the deployment policy. We've seen the automate patch deployment, how to create it. Those automate patch deployments you can even save as new without target or with all targets, so you can duplicate them. But you want to have an automate test and approve too. You can build up as many test groups as you wish. Looks the same. Windows, Mac, Linux, you just choose a static group of computers. Choose whatever you wish to publish automatically. You can have the exceptions, everything as we've seen in the automate patch deployment process. Plus, here you can deploy patches after specific time of days from when they release. Here's the deployment policy again, and if you want to have it automatically approved a patch, you can select, let's say, 3 days here. By meaning only if a patch is not successfully installed on one of the systems in that target, in that group, in that test group, with an installation error, then the patch won't be approved automatically. There is no synthetic monitoring in that system. It is only a proof of if there is everything installed correctly. And if you have key users within the test group, they will tell you if something is wrong. If not, after 3 days, the patch will be automatically approved. Fine, that's about the patch section. There is the threat section, vulnerability management, software vulnerabilities with CVSS scores and more informations. You can have them even grouped with more informations and the affected systems, detected CVs. Here you have the informations as well, patch availability, yes, no, severity, platform, and even linked to Mitre. For further informations, you can fix the CVEs here if there is a patch available. Zero-day vulnerabilities. Even here, if a fix is available, you can publish the updates. And there is system misconfigurations. Even here, you can deploy those configurations. You can group them in order to have a better overview. You see what is the description caution and the affected systems, high-risk software. End of life, gathered from the agents. You do not need to maintain any Excel spreadsheets or whatever. Here, expired already, expires in 2 days on that system. And there is an overview of peer-to-peer and remote desktop sharing to web server misconfigurations. There's nothing you can publish, but there is a resolution shown, description, severity, and a resolution, what to do. And even this can be grouped. A port audit comes in handy as well. With a detailed view, let's say, see everything, or yeah, I want to see only what's on 137. That's 11 instances where the port is open and who is using those ports. Okay, then there is the compliances. Here we do have CIS compliance reports, stick reports, and those are Windows and Linux. You can map those to the system groups. It looks like that. Let's go into one compliance percentage in that particular group, and the one of the benchmarks, because we want to harden our systems. When you have an audit, an auditor will come, will have a look on the systems, will run his tools and whatever, and if he sees 23%, yeah, he's gonna go home. But he will leave a bill as well. Mostly, you won't get an information how to fix everything. Yeah, you will just have the percentage. Here in this breakdowns, you see every detail, passed or failed, and if it's failed, you have a summary, a rationale, and a how to fix. It helps you harden your systems. All right, a system quarantine policy has to be in such a system as well. You can have it on specific computer groups, different rules to set OS patch service, vulnerability, file versions. Let's get the vulnerability with a CVSS value above 8, and that's not an audit, that's a quarantine then. Okay, block all network access or only intranet in range. You have different choices. And yeah, there is then only the agent communicating with the server. The system is really blocked for outside communication. And once the system is patched, it will be automatically be again out of quarantine. Okay, that's about the vulnerability management part. If you have a Tenable.io account, you can add that here as well if you want. Let's continue software deployment. Software deployment, I always start with the templates. We do have total records, 199,971. So this is for different operating systems, and these are templates for the software, providing the full installer and the silent install and uninstall switches. That's an MSI. Let's find something with an exe. Yeah, here we do have install switches. These are always kind of different, and it is difficult for us to find the full installer and the silent install switches on the respective home pages of the vendors. But in the enterprise environment, we need to install software in the background silently. So, and those download installers provided from that home pages, they won't be helpful. So ManageEngine helped already with a lot of templates, so we can go and create a package, even telling the system to automatically update everything in a template, and even build a new package if there is a new version out there, and even replace within the self-service portal the old version, so you have always the latest version available in the self-service portal. Cool thing. Let's have a look what's done with the packages then. I do have packages here. Some are created from myself, some are automatically created, and we can install them user or computer based. The same dialog we saw already within the patch management. The only thing here, system user or run as a specific user, and even an interaction can be allowed. And the deployment policy, again, target, you set the target and then just deploy. Even a retry can be configured. This is the basic 211. You can set it up even higher. And if you wish to modify a package, you can do so. Go in here, modify pre and post deployment activities with conditional checks and configurations you can give, and post deployment, there are some configurations you can give too. Uninstallation is done within the same package, and there is the advanced settings with some details to this for this software. Yeah, let's cancel that. If you have configured pre-deployment activities and post-deployment activities, all those can be automatically added within a new package when it automatically comes through the template. Creating a new package, an own one, Windows or Mac, just choose it. Choose MSI or exe. Even then the install switches will change. You have license type, commercial, non-commercial, from a shared folder, or uploaded through the browser here through this drag and drop. Install switches, yes, you need them. Pre-deployment activities, post-deployment activities, uninstallation. Same thing as we've seen earlier. If you want to publish software in a bundle with pre-required software, or software automatically to be deployed on a new installed system, either go here in the dialog, install, uninstall software computer configuration, or I do it easily. I just check the software I know I want to have already, and then install software computer configuration, and I have it added here. If I want to have more, I just go in there. Let's choose 7-zip as well. Add package, it's in the list, and it will be installed in that order. If I want to have 7-zip somewhere else, let's just drag and drop it. And then just select the deployment policy, the when and the how, and the target. And here, just go on deploy, and it is running. If you have, with OS deployment, a new system up with only Windows on it, and you want to have automatically added software on that systems, just you can do it here with choosing just the maybe the OU where you join the computers, the new deployed computers in. But, there's always a but, nowadays I always tell everyone, and within the security talks I'm in, I'm telling the same. In the past years, centuries now, we installed a bunch of software on every system because we thought, or someone decided this is standard software, it has to be everywhere. So just imagine you have 1,000 systems with a 7-zip on it. Just 50 users are using that 7-zip. So you have a 950 systems where you have to patch unnecessarily the 7-zip. And you have to run after patch phages. And these are unnecessary security risks in your company. So why not install just, let's say, Outlook for a basic communication, and everything else install it through the self-service portal. A user can then, he can install the software through the self-service portal on his own. Let's have a look how's the look and feel of the software self-service portal, SB portal. I'm just starting it up. It looks like that. You can install the software from here if you have the allowance, or even reinstall it, kind of a repair, or uninstall it from here. Okay, this is possible through the self-service portal. The updates would be shown here. So it is a simple thing. It is nothing difficult. Everyone who has a smartphone in his hands, who knows how to use a smartphone, has a more difficult software shop in there. So self-service portal, use it. It is a good thing to prevent having unnecessary security risks in the company. Fine, that's about the software deployment. We have an inventory tab. Of course, we have an inventory. Software summary, warranty summary, software compliance summary, and the computers. What do we see? We have an asset summary. You can add even own custom fields in here. System view about services, users, groups, drivers, shares. You have hardware informations, hard disk, monitors, motherboard, physical memory, what's installed and what is possible to install. Software, desktop apps, you can uninstall them from here as well if you wish. Microsoft Store apps and software metering. Software metering, cool thing. If you have a software out there, a costly software, licensed, and each license, yeah, it's money. If you want to know if every license is really used, you can start a software metering. It is always from the point onwards you configure it, no past data is stored, and it is always only global, not for one system. You can generate that report, and then you will see how many times and how often and how long it is used on which systems. That's the way how to reduce unnecessary costs by software not used from the customer, from the users, customers. Yeah, that's the same thing. And you can export every report. Yes, everything can be exported. Every table you see in all of Endpoint Central, and you can configure it that the technician only can decide between mask or remove personal information. You have a choice possibility. That's good, so that no one will have a list out there somewhere sticking on the entrance of the office that Andreas is working only 1 hour a day with the software he used to have to work a whole day or something like that. Okay, certifications can be also scanned. So certificates can also be scanned. You can choose all the stores, different stores you want, file details. It's an overview of audio movie files on that system, how many and how much memory in total is used, security information, BitLock antivirus, firewall, missing patches, USB audit, and there is a history of added or removed software, hardware, and a user log-on history. That's about the inventory. Of course, there is a hardware summarization and a software summarization. Here you can see how many old software versions are out there, what cannot be patched anymore, yeah, because it's too old. You can see what systems it is on, and you can uninstall it from here if you wish. The reports, yeah, we will see them later. You have a prohibit software section where you can prohibit software and auto uninstall that as well. You have block executables with a path and a hash, and everything. Those things can be done smarter with application control, and we're gonna see that later. There is the license management. Import from CSV files or add a license here. It's just the informations, okay? A license file, invoice file, purchase order. Nice thing, you can associate the systems, the license to the systems, but it is not a licensing then on that systems. It's just for us an overview where we have the license in a legal way on it, okay? So then there is a alert section with hardware. For example, if a user is taking his 8K monitor home on the weekend to play with it, we can see if he's bringing it back on Monday again. You have a software installation, uninstallation section. Disk space proactively get an information, a warning, a certificate expires in certain days section, everything there. Okay, what else? MDM. No, we want to skip that. Mobile device management. It's a huge thing in here. Apple devices, Android, Windows, Chrome, you can add those systems here. You can establish a bring your own device or supervised devices with Apple Business Manager. All the containerizations can be done by bring your own devices. You have Android with zero touch, Knox, QR code enrollment for the supervised devices, easy thing. And yeah, the Apple Business Manager to add. The management section allows you to group your systems into device user groups, whatever groups, and it is really good if you add groups. You can add systems even in multiple groups, and on that groups you provide, you publish profiles and apps. And if you remove one system out of one group or put it in another, automatically it will check and added or removed apps or profiles accordingly to the groupings. Profiles do the magic on the systems. iOS, Android, Windows, Chrome, macOS, tvOS. Let's have a look on the iOS profiles first. Continue. You have configuration options for the passcode restrictions. Let's say you want to restrict camera. There are some symbols. All those symbols, they will help you to find out with which enrollment type you can use this profile. On the bring your own device, you won't be able to restrict the camera, for instance. So all those symbols are really helpful with these hundreds of possibilities to configure security infos, share data between managed, unmanaged apps, restrict both ways, have more options. Wi-Fi, VPN, per app VPN settings. Yeah, VPN here with different connection types already. Exchange Active Sync, a kiosk mode. You can establish a kiosk mode, edit even the screen layout. Have AirPrint, wallpaper, calendar sync, eSIM. There's lots of options of possible to configure your systems. Android is looking like that. There you have also the possibility for OEM configurations for scanner devices, for Zebra, Honeywell devices, Data Logic, etc. Let's remain in a normal MDM profile right now. Here, passcode, complexity of high, complex value, 16 digits, that's really user-friendly, and you can even restrict the biometrics if you want. There is restriction section as well for the device functionality, even here with all those helpful icons, security informations, security about the adding, removing accounts or something like that. Workspace security functionality, Wi-Fi, add Wi-Fi profiles, VPN connection types. You can add a lot. Exchange Active Sync, kiosk mode, even here with more settings, and the screen layout. Okay, if you have from the UEM edition onwards, you have the modern management, and then you even can create profiles for Windows and Mac OS systems. Have the Hello for Business, establish kiosk mode, etc. It is helpful as well on your laptops because you could have you could have one day the need to wipe a system, and this is possible through the mobile device management, through the modern management then. You have the app repository where you add your stores and publish apps, store apps, or Android or enterprise apps, Android or Apple or Windows. Can automatically update these apps, have a telecom expense management, content management to publish content to the systems, and automatic OS update, what you can configure for Android and iOS, announcements to publish, and a remote control or remote view depending on the system you add here. A MUM policy or fence policies are possible. Fence policy is something like if you don't want someone to enter some borders or leave some borders, you can add the system. You can add a policy to wipe the system or inform someone about it. Okay, as well there is an inventory, and as I said, you have the ability to do a wipe, a remote wipe, a complete wipe, or a company wipe according the enrollment type. Audit, of course, there is an audit. The tools. We have remote control, system manager, remote shutdown, wake on LAN, chat, announcements, and system tools. Remote control. Let's start here. We have a user confirmation, what we can add so that the user has to confirm if we want to get into his session. Exclusions, of course, can be set here as well. There is not always a biological user in front on every system, so we need that possibility. If you have a file server integrated, if you have a terminal server integrated, you can go into terminal sessions as well. Let's have a look how it works, the remote control. connect. Okay, this is a normal remote control. If the monitor is locked, I can get into it through Control-Alt-Delete. There's also options to blacken the monitor, disable inputs, take screenshots, or see the performance statistics already prior to login. Let's get into it. We also have here the possibility for quick launches, a control panel, device manager. You want to go into the registry, services. Everything can be accessed through a quick launch. And if the system, I always say, if the system is, the GUI is already slow, it won't get quicker when we establish a remote control. Or if the system is in a language I'm not able to understand, then the quick launch will help me there a lot. Power management, power options, nearly every tool has the same power options, administration tasks, clean up disk or GP update force right out of here, possible. File transfer, there's a text chat, voice call, video call, depending on the licensing. That's the normal remote control. We do not need this remote control all the time. So, because we can go through the system manager through the background. Let's start the task manager. Right now, actively, all the running tasks processes are read from the system. And we can kill them here through the action buttons. There is startup programs. When there is a startup program enabled, we can disable it as well. Task scheduler, providing us actions as well. Run and disable delete. Computer renaming is there. There is services. With all the installed services on that system, startup type, status, log on user, and we have actions, start, stop, or change the mode. There is a command prompt and a PowerShell. There is a registry editor. A file manager, event viewer, device manager. Yeah, there is only slight differences through the from on-prem to cloud. The device manager, for example, has cannot disable anything or enable anything. On the on-prem edition has that possibility. There are shares. You can see them. You can have actions here, modify sessions, open files, printers, hardware, software, users. You see a lot of things. Groups. Even here you can add groups, members, and something. Okay, that's the system manager. It is coming with all versions. All the tools. The tool section is within all versions. There's a remote shutdown possibility, not limited to shutdown or reboot. It is even a hibernate or lock off of inactive users, specific users. Lock or standby. Everything can be done even through a scheduler. Add a task and even lock off inactive users can be scheduled. Wake on LAN, even this can be scheduled. Then there is that chat or video call or voice call section. That's a difference in the cloud also. You have in the cloud you have only the text chat. On-prem is everything in with from the Enterprise Edition onwards. Announcements allows you to send notifications to the systems, to users or systems. Once, multiple times, if you want to tell someone that you love him really a lot, you can do so every minute or 2 minutes from in between a time frame. And there is the system tools with clean up tasks and something what you can provide automatically. Now let's go to the OS deployment. What you can't do within the OS deployment is publish a ISO file from Microsoft. This is only working for Windows, and this is an own product from ManageEngine. So it is working with a imaging. You can capture a system, a hardware. You can hardware independently deploy that image then, and yeah, you can image. I always say it's best. The best practice is imaging a virtual machine with only Windows on it, not domain joined, so there's no computer policies and no background noise on it. That's done within 2 or 3 minutes. That's easy and quick. And then just deploy that to all your targets. The drivers will be automatically either through Discover drivers or will be added here through a manual driver collection repository. Just add the drivers in that share, and the system will scan the drivers. You can do it manually as well if you just added fresh drivers. There's a missing drivers section and a vendor driver section. So within a OS deployment, the system will automatically check for the most suitable driver from that repository. The vendor drivers are for HP, Dell, and Lenovo, the PE drivers, pre-boot environment drivers, needed to create a bootable media. Bootable media, PXE, USB, and ISO can be established, and the deployment template will allow you to do some configurations already on the systems with reboot computer, configurations below, or automatically specific settings with MAC address and computer name and something. You can add user profile backups. You can do a backup from here, or generate a new SID, define a computer name by pattern, or here just select a name, or do so during the deployment process. Then there is the domain join you can do here. Local user accounts, remove from that image from the computer, or and add your new local users if you want. That's a new dialog you can add. And there is domain users. Once you establish the domain join, you can add domain users as well, and applications to install. This is done better through the software deployment. Don't use this section here. It's my recommendation. There will be some connections coming up to the software deployment right now. Join your system into a specific new computers OU where you will have a software deployment targeted on, so software can be automatically installed then after the OS installation. Fine. As well, there is the possibility, of course, to establish a zero-touch task and a standalone task. So you can even reboot systems would have already an agent on it from the console and reinstall them. Even in home office, it is possible. And there are deployment tasks providing you the possibility, the ability to just add deploy now in a specific time frame, so that the PXE boot is not available all the time. But if you wish, you can do so with an instant task that it is running at 24/7. The authentication is done through a 4 or 6 digit code. or through the administrator credentials during the deployment process. That's about OS deployment in short. Now, everything has a reporting section. Every system. There are pre-configured systems for inventory reports, browser reports, etc. And if you have the on-prem version, you also have the some Active Directory reports, unused user accounts, something like that, or server reports, group reports, GPO reports. Reports can be scheduled through a scheduler and even with filters. Let's say you want to have a patch report, installed patches. Yeah, you want to know only the last 7 days. Yeah, I already pre-configured that once, so it is in the memory. And you can send that even with mask or removal of personal informations in different file formats and based on a schedule. You have a custom report builder as well, providing you columns, adding filters, and even charts, different kinds of charts you can choose for your reports. Query reports are available as well if you want to work with SQL statements. That's about the reports. Now, there are some more security features. I told you that there is a nicer device control. That's the section here, device control policies. Let's start with trusted devices. Add your trusted devices by device type, removable storage, Bluetooth adapters, whatever. And whatever you choose, there will be also provided what is already existing on devices, known in the system. So you can add those devices then to the trusted devices group, or add new devices manually or through a CSV import. Once you have some groups like that, you can create a policy, Windows or Mac. Let's say we allow only trusted devices for removable storage. Add that group, and then file access settings available. Device access settings, allow only BitLocker encrypted devices. File shadowing settings, all can be added here. And then there is a notification section, of course, and even the possibility to provide the user through the blocking dialog the ability to request a temporary access. Temporary access can even added manually from you here. Computer name on a specific computer, specific user, specific device for a specific time frame. Insights and reports already are also here. So you see managed computers, you can see what is in the auditing, what is the device manager, what has the system on it and such. As well, there is the application control. I mentioned it within the inventory, prohibit software. This is better done through the application control. You work here with application groups. Allow lists, block lists. Yeah, in my times, I'm already a vintage CPU out of the 70s. So in my time, it was called white and black list. All right, I'm gonna get used to allow and block list. You can create them here, Windows or Mac. Choose the vendor, filter it, or verified executable file hash. You can do that here as well. And once you have that groups, you can deploy them. Associate groups on to computer groups, and then select white or block list. And here is an audit mode or a strict mode. An audit mode would only block what's on the block list or on the block list and allow everything. Strict mode will allow only what's on the whitelist, on the allow list. And there is the possibility to allow users to request an application to be managed. And yeah, that's about how to configure it. There is a just-in-time access as well, providing the user access to the system, and a privileged management, allowing you to elevate applications to an admin mode. For instance, you have an application what would need only to be run, executed on the systems, what would need a local administrator. Yeah, here within that, you can provide that application those rights and remove the admin rights then on that systems. Next is the BitLocker management. That's something easy. BitLocker management create policies to encrypt your system. You can retrieve the recovery key here, even though if you have not published a policy through this system. And then there is the browser security. Let's go in there first. Browser security allows you an add-on management, provide add-ons or restrict add-ons, threat prevention, browser customization, customize Windows or Mac browsers. Let's go in and see how it looks. Content restrictions, security restrictions, homepage and startup, proxy settings, bookmark manager, default browser settings, all those possible. Browser routing, browser lockdown, Java manager, lots of possibilities to secure your browsers. And there is also a compliance statistics for BSP, STIC, or CIS. You just view this report and see what's compliant or not for the configurations, and you can publish them. You can work on it. Next is data loss prevention. There's a nice data loss prevention available. Create your data rules, own rules, regex patterns, file extensions, whatever, or just have a look what's for different countries already available. I'm located in Germany, so let's have a look. Germany, also the bank account numbers, tax numbers, and whatever. You can choose that and then publish that policy. German sensitives, next, and you have file access settings, audit only, screen capture, allowing, not allowing, file upload, and removable storage devices, audit or not. You have a lot of configuration possibilities here. Then there is the DEX, Digital Endpoint Experience. Device experience scores. Proactively have a look on your systems. What's running, what's not running. 64% experience score. Whew, that's not nice. So have a look. What is the reason? And then you have insights here. Application crash detected. You have lots of insights. Then there are sensors you can add your own, or disk space, modify the sensors already here available through the PowerShell script writer, and or add your own sensors. Workflows. Create a workflow or use a workflow already in the extensions available. What is a workflow? Let's have a look. Windows Update Restart. Yeah, you have here a sensor, Windows update pending, a switch, then you have the case, restart pending, and last boot time, whatever. You can configure it. You can create your own workflows as well with your own sensors, remote actions, switches, and such. Then there are some dashboards, sustainable IT. All right, virtual environment, no energy or carbon emission measured. But on your systems, on hardware, you will see that Windows laptop is having such amount of consumption of power, and Mac is having lower or higher or whatever. You will see it in detail. Extensions allow you out of the box already provided workflows, sensors, and such. Within the settings, there's the ability to change whatever you want in the experience score, and even details for the CPU usage. For example, you can change. And within the inside section, if you want to change the 25 gigabyte for disk space measurement, you can do so there. Right, that's it for the DAX Manager. Now there is only left the malware protection. Endpoint Central has an anti-malware and anti-ransomware and an next-gen antivirus possibility. I'm gonna change to another system in order to show you the detection behavior for the in-depth analysis and such. Right, here we are. We have an incident here. I've tested it. I've simulated one here with an alert. And here you can see the summary and link to the virus total. Of course, there is the analysis for in-depth forensics. I had to search for the word. And even if you want to see and wish to network quarantine your systems, you can do so over there. And there is a mark true and false positive action possible. Yeah, that's it for the Endpoint Central overview. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you wish to try it out, Endpoint Central is free of any charge until 25 devices or within the trial period of 30 days in full functionality without any restrictions. Download it, register for the Cloud Edition, whatever you like, and we're here to help, so have fun with it.